we have out our filtered sugar water from the sand sugar water filtration that we did earlier. And we need to separate out the water from the sugar because our goal was to get the sand and sugar separated. Well, the sand is off and it's drying, and now we have the sugar, but it is stuck mixed in with this water. Before we go on with that, we classify this as a substance because, again, it is pure throughout. It has the same composition all through. So we are going to use the distillation apparatus and to boil off the water and collect clear water over here, and our sugar will be left in here. Now, to do a distillation, we are actually separating things, separating what's inside this substance based off of their boiling points. So we know that water has a lower boiling point than the sugar. So as we heat this, we are going to reach a temperature of the boiling water before we get to the temperature where the sugar would boil and turn into a gas. So the water is going to boil, so we'll have a steady temperature until all the water is out. It's going to form a gas, which we're going to seal in there with a stopper. The gas is then going to trickle down this tube, go through a condensing tube, which we are going to run cold water through. So just like this. So we run cold water. The cold water cools down the tube on the inside. When the gas touches that tube, it cools down, condenses, travels down the rest of the tube, and drips into our waiting beaker. So we have all this going. Let's go ahead and get it lit. There we go, got it nice and lit. It'll take a little while for it to get boiling. Let's see if we can't try to adjust it just slightly so you can get it out from behind the faucet. Okay, as you can see, a little bit of vapor is starting to condense on the tube. We'll get a little bit more going here in just a second. Got a little bit of bubbles forming on the sides of the beaker. Now what we will see as this gets going is that this will become more and more cloudy as we start collecting the clear liquid on the sides. Alright, now we're really getting the boil going. And that's because the sugar, we're going to get a darker solution or a more cloudy solution in here because the sugar concentration is going up in here. Now we're not actually adding any more sugar, but we're taking away the water. And when we take away the water, that means the concentration. There's more sugar per water in there. And this will become more cloudy. If you can notice in here, we've got a little bit of streaks where some of the gas is condensing just from touching the room temperature glass, but it's really condensing through here, and we've got some drips even coming out on the other end. And we discussed in class that this can be very useful if we are, say, stranded on a boat and all we have is salt water. Well, you can do the same thing as with the sugar water, where we evaporate off the water, somehow collect that vapor, and then we have good drinking water. And we are just not getting a lot of condensing, but we're really getting a boil going. Some suggestions in class were to maybe use some plastic over a pot as it boils to collect some of that liquid, but really any way that you collect the gas and then cool it down. We also decided that instead of using maybe your ship sunk and you're on a raft, you could use the sun to get this boiling going instead of, a gas stove or, the engine or something like that. So As you can see, there's a slight ring going where the sugar is being dried and it's going back into its solid. So we're separating out our sugar from our sugar water. We have our sand sitting off in the filter paper. So we have successfully separated our sugar and our sand.